Welcome to Anything You Want. Before we begin, please remember to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and consider supporting us by clicking the join button. Your engagement keeps our investigations alive and allows us to continue bringing you the most intimate and unvarnished celebrity narratives. Now settle in as we unfold a chapter of heartbreak and suspicion that has gripped Turkey's entertainment scene and reverberated far beyond its studios. For a long while, the relationship between Hande Erçel and Kerem Bürsin had been narrated to the public as a luminous, almost cinematic romance, two celebrated professionals whose on-screen intensity seemed to spill into their private lives, conjuring an image of mutual devotion polished by shared ambition and meticulous public curation. But over recent days that carefully maintained image has splintered spectacularly. What began as a single-pointed interrogation by Ursil culminated in a cascade of photographs, witness accounts, and whispers that threatened to recast their union from emblematic love to a study in disillusionment. In a statement that shocked both admirers and casual onlookers, Hande Erçel issued words that were raw in their simplicity and devastating in their implication. "Were you merely acting when you told me you loved me? Was it all some performance staged for others?" The question, uttered with a tone at once brittle and resolute, did not drift, it landed. It forced observers to consider whether the images they had consumed over months, intimate posts, shared appearances, and those few arresting public smiles, were genuine manifestations of affection or the choreography of a story meant to be consumed. The timing of her remarks furnished an immediate and explosive fuel to gossip columns. Within hours of Ursil's public expression of betrayal, images surfaced from the set of Carpinti showing Kerem Bürsin engaged in a visibly intimate moment with his co-star, Liz, a staged kiss that was, to some viewers, indistinguishable from a private embrace. Though acting demands the craft of believable illusion, for those who have loved and lost, the line between craft and truth can blur dangerously. Rumors quickly took on the texture of conviction. Claims circulated that the rapport between Bürsin and Liz had transcended professional rapport and bled into the offset world, where unscripted intimacies purportedly took place. Ursil's subsequent remarks crystallized the sorrow behind her outrage. She spoke, not as a celebrity issuing a calculated public relations maneuver, but as a person who had invested fragile hopes in trust and fidelity. "To me, love is defined by trust and loyalty. Without those pillars, what remains is an empty edifice." In articulating this, she painted the essence of her grievance, an existential complaint about the authenticity of a relationship that appeared to many as splendidly real. The public spectacle has been complicated by Kerem Bürsin's conspicuous silence. Historically admired for his composure and his reluctance to court controversy, Bürsin's absence from comment, from social feeds, and from public-facing explanations has been interpreted by some as an exercise in restraint and by others as tacit admission. Silence in such moments acquires rhetorical weight. It can be read as a shield, a strategy, or a mirror reflecting uncertainty. While some advisors counsel famous figures to let the tempest pass, the vacuum created by non-response invites speculation to occupy the space, and speculation has proven voracious. Tabloid chronicles have not been content with surface-level reportage. Within their pages, several narratives have been proposed. One thread argues that Ursil's fierceness represents the end of a relationship that had frayed long before this week's headlines, a culmination rather than an inciting incident. Another line of commentary posits that her public accusations might be a deliberate prod, intended to test Bürsin's willingness to defend, deny, or reconcile. Yet another account insists upon the literalness of the set rumors, that Bürsin and Liz cultivated a closeness in private that, when made public, affronted Ursil's sense of fidelity. Which of these accounts approximates the truth remains entangled in secrecy and the subjective lenses through which celebrity life is often observed. Observers who follow the couple's history point out that their early romance was once shrouded in secrecy, a deliberate choice to shelter intimacy from the intrusive glare of cameras and commentary. Ironically, it seems the cloak that once protected them may have prevented external witnesses from noticing erosive shifts until they became irreducible facts. When the cocoon finally ruptured, the emotional debris, hurt, accusation, silence, spilled into an arena where every reaction is magnified and swiftly weaponized. Social media users, those fervent chroniclers of celebrity pulse, responded with a mixture of disbelief, support, and schadenfreude. For some devoted fans, Hande's words confirmed suspicions that had been gestured at in prior, seemingly minor interactions, less frequent joint appearances, curt interview replies, and the small but telling decisions people make when intimacy begins to unravel. For detractors, the situation became a tableau of dramatic possibilities, ripe for commentary and viral memes. And for the neutral, it posed a more somber question: how much of an intimate life can survive when it is made public property? The impact on professional lives cannot be easily segregated from personal ruptures. Both actors have cultivated careers that ascend quickly and visibly. The proximity of the Carpinti production now complicates that professional landscape. An on-set relationship that veers into genuine affection or reciprocal betrayal has professional consequences. Editorial decisions, promotional strategies, and team dynamics may all be influenced by personal entanglements. Producers and executives, sensitive to the optics that influence audience metrics and sponsorships, will watch the fallout and make strategic pivots accordingly. Yet beneath the speculation and the strategic calculations is the human dimension that Ursil's remarks foreground, a woman confronting the dissolution of something she once believed to be sacred. Her statement, "I searched for love and trust within us and could not find them," registers as a confession and a verdict simultaneously, an acknowledgement of seeking and a conclusion of absence. It is precisely this language, searching, seeking, concluding, that gives her words their moral gravity. The public's appetite for spectacle often neglects the moral ache that accompanies betrayal. Ursil's candor forced a moment of ethical consideration into a conversation otherwise dominated by voyeurism. Meanwhile, fragments of reactionary discourse have emerged in predictable patterns. Defenders rally to the young actress's cause. Skeptics question the timing and authenticity of her disclosure. Industry voices counsel caution, reminding audiences that acting requires emotional proximity which, when misconstrued, can inflame jealousies and misreadings. Each faction selects evidence that confirms its narrative, and the resulting cacophony complicates the extraction of an objective truth. For Kerem Bürsin, the personal toll of the episode is layered atop a public persona that had been carefully calibrated over years. The challenge for him, should he choose to speak, will be to reconcile the public's demand for clarity with his own desire for privacy. Conversely, for Hande Erçel, the recent events have painted her not merely as a scorned lover but as a figure asserting boundaries, declaring that emotional sanctity cannot be trivialized without consequence. As we survey the current terrain, several questions remain inevitable and pressing. Will the two celebrities offer a mutual reconciliation, or will legal, contractual, or personal ruptures render a reunion implausible? Will Kerem respond with a denial, an apology, or prolonged silence? And beyond their personal calculus, how will audiences and industry stakeholders interpret this saga in the long term? To our viewers on Anything You Want, your perspective matters to us. Please let us know in the comments. Do you think public intimacy among co-stars inevitably blurs into private infidelity? Or should professional closeness be decoupled from personal accusations? Which elements in this story do you consider proof, and which do you see as conjecture fueled by media habits? Share your thoughts, subscribe to the channel if you value thoughtful, in-depth coverage, and consider hitting the join button to support the extra reporting we do. We value every voice in this community, and your insights help shape the dialogues we pursue next. This story of love, suspicion, and the brittle boundary between performance and reality is far from concluded. In the days to come, we will monitor public statements, archival posts, and potential official responses. Our role at Anything You Want is not to sensationalize for spectacle's sake, but to chronicle how celebrity lives mirror broader social questions about trust, the cost of visibility, and the ethics of private pain displayed publicly. Thank you for staying with us through this deeper examination. If you found this analysis valuable, please like, share, and subscribe to Anything You Want, and do not forget to press the join button for exclusive updates. We will return with verified developments as they become available, and until then we remind our audience to approach such stories with empathy for the people involved. Good night, and keep watching Anything You Want for the next unfolding chapter.